Edison tinfoil machine, and this is the first device capable of recording and playing back the human voice. Built in 1877, Edison wrapped a sheet of tinfoil around this drum, and then on this side there's a heavy fiber membrane with a little nub of a needle. And can you even see that nub of a needle in there?
Pretty small.
So when he screwed this down against the tinfoil and shouted into this side, "Mary had a little lamb," while he turned it, this diaphragm vibrated and the needle left deeper and shallower impressions in the tinfoil, which were then played back over here on this side.
Okay.
So he moved this away, tightened this side down to the tinfoil, and now you've got a lightweight diaphragm, a lightweight needle, so that they don't disturb the bumps.
Okay.
The hills and valleys in the tinfoil. And from there, he decided to come up with something more permanent than tinfoil for media. So he went to wax cylinders like this one.
Okay.
And there are bumps in there. They're hard to see.
Fine lines, yeah.
But they can be. This can be played back on a machine like this. It always sounds like this one's playing backwards, but I think it's right.
So then that was a smaller phone, and then they had a bigger one.
The horn?
Yeah, horn.
Yeah, it's a small horn. Well, the other problem with this was these wax cylinders
Oh, yeah.
were hard to reproduce. I mean, imagine if you had a mold with grooves inside, and then you filled it full of hot wax, how would you get it out?
Yeah, so you had to break the mold every time.
So the first recordings that Edison made were done one at a time. If you wanted 50 copies of a song, you sang it 50 times.
Wow.
Now, eventually he figured out what he called his gold mold process, where the record would shrink and fall out of the mold. But in the meantime, Berliner and Johnson came up with this idea, the flat disc. Now they could make a mold, and they mixed up a slurry of slate dust and shellac, poured it into the mold, and when it cooled, they had records, as many as they wanted. And they took over the industry, eventually becoming the Victor Company.
Berlin, and what was the last name?
Emil Berliner and Eldridge Johnson.
Okay.
Berliner and Johnson.
Berliner and Johnson.
And Victor made machines like this, and eventually like that.
Could we fire this one up to see the better sound with the bigger horn?
Yeah, why don't I put a new needle in it?
Okay.
Because these, believe it or not, they expected you to change the needle every time you played it.
Okay.
And I've got some new needles in my office here.
And these are spring-loaded, and that's how they operate, just wound spring. 1915, 1929, Edison Model 30 Ambrola, designed to play the 4-minute blue Ambrola cylinders, introduced in 1912. Original price $30 to $41. And this one, 1902 to 1909 Victor, Model 3 Victor the Third with optional oak horn, original price $40. And the one both of them are sitting on, 12-foot horn, original price $600. 1927. And it automatically has a record changer, and that's this large one.
Victor number 2. Victor the Third, I'm sorry. The Third. It requires a pretty good crank up here.
What is this record of?
That's the best this has sounded in a long time. Ironically, it's a Columbia disc. Chant of the Jungle.
When was that recorded?
Is there a date on it?
January 21, 13.
Well, it was recorded electrically, though.
Oh, who knows when it was recorded then? Huh? Interesting.
Apparently there's vocals in here at some point.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see that early date. That's got to be their trademark date, 1913, because electrical recordings really didn't come in until 1925, even though it's just a big acoustic machine like this with an electric motor. It doesn't have any amplifiers or vacuum tubes or electronics, but the records that it plays are supposed to be electrically recorded. It was a real anomaly in the market at the time.
Kind of a hybrid there, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And it was obsolete by the time it was introduced as well. They had vacuum tubes since 1907, 1908, but by 1920 vacuum tube amplifiers were around, and they could have used a vacuum tube amplifier in this. Instead, they had spent so much research and development effort and money and time on this orthophonic reproducer, which is an acoustic reproducer, that they introduced this machine for a year, put it in their most expensive cabinet with the fancy changer, and charged $600 for it. And here's your only volume control right here.
Interesting how that changes so much.
They really wanted you to keep this door closed. Hear all the scratches?
Yeah, you hear all the noise. If you had it like this. This is the record changer.
How is it powered?
It's AC. Plug it into the wall.
Okay.
And all the rest of those machines you had to wind up.
And this could hold how many?
It could hold about a dozen records up on that hook.
Then you just toss them willy-nilly down below.
Into here.
Yeah.
This one so it doesn't scratch the other one. And you notice when I took the record off of here, this lever dropped down.
Yeah.
Cool.